Snow White 2025 is set to lose a whole lot of money due to bad publicity, poor reception, and simply not needing to exist.
But there is another Disney film from the year of our Lord 2000 that completely flopped, but is actually one of the best films Disney has ever made.
Slamak Paggy, Mio here.
And Hiro here to tell you about what is possibly Disney's most underrated movie,
Emperor's New Groove,
and how it nearly was destroyed in production hell.
In fact, Emperor's New Groove almost wasn't even Emperor's New Groove at all.
Allow us to explain.
What? You don't know what Emperor's New Groove is?
Emperor's New Groove is an animated comedy released by Disney in the year 2000. We'll talk about what the movie is about pretty soon, but let's briefly look behind the scenes, as it gets pretty wild back there. Behind the scenes, that is.
After Lion King got released in 1994, Disney started working on a movie set in ancient Inca called Kingdom of the Sun.
It would feature a spoiled emperor and a peasant who would look exactly alike and would swap places for funsies. Meanwhile, a character called Yzma would try to summon the freaking god of death, Supe, to destroy the sun, because if the sun is gone, she won't get any more wrinkles, and thus her aging will cease and desist.
It's a bit extreme.
After discovering that the emperor and the peasant have switched places, Yzma turns the emperor into a llama and starts blackmailing the peasant.
In the end, the emperor would learn humility and fall in love with the llama keeper woman, and the peasant would fall in love with the emperor's soon-to-be fiancée, and they defeat Yzma, I assume.
We're only basing this info off of summaries online, so it may not be 100% accurate. Anyways, Sting the musician made 8 total songs for the movie. That's a lot.
So you might be thinking, that doesn't sound too bad. Why didn't that movie get made? Well, that's because Pocahontas and Hunchback of Notre Dame did frick all at the box office in 1995 and 1996. And Disney was a panicking.
And they had to change the planikin.
And said the movie needed more humor. Anakin.
But now the movie was taking too long to make. It wouldn't be ready to release in the summer of 2000. This would ruin promotional deals with McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
And the mouse did not like that. No, 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 no.
After some test screenings, the original idea for the film was said to have too many elements.
Now, at this point, there are 2 directors, Roger Allers and Mark Dindal. They had 2 different ideas for the movie, with Allers sticking more to the original script, while Dindal wanted to make more of a comedy.
After each of them wrote up their own versions, Disney decided to go with Dindal's version. Allers was cool with Dindal going with the comedy version, but he stepped down from being co-director.
Now the movie had a production cost of around $30 million on a dormant project with only 25% of the movie animated. That isn't good at all.
On top of that, the CEO was not happy about Allers leaving and gave the producer of the movie, Randy Fulmer, only 2 weeks to salvage the project, or
connection terminated.
Eventually, after renaming the project from Kingdom of the Sun to Kingdom in the Sun, crazy, I know, story work began. While changes were made, they still kept some elements, like David Spade as the Emperor and Eartha Kitt as Yzma.
But one punishment! Death! Gods! Take him away!
A storyboard artist from the original Kingdom of the Sun suggested making the peasant character older and more of a father figure, and that character would become the Pacha, voiced by John Goodman, that we know today.
Later, David Reynolds, a former late-night comedy writer, would pitch a simple comedy that's basically a buddy road picture, with 2 guys being chased in the style of a Chuck Jones tune, but faster paced. Disney said, go nuts.
Later on, a character called Kronk would be added as Yzma's henchman, and he would be voiced by Patrick Warburton. Also, the original name for the emperor was Monko, but they changed it to Kuzco after they discovered that Monko, with a K, was a Japanese slang term for the see you next Tuesday word.
Well, they finally caught that one. Because of production shifts, all of Sting's songs were cut, which resulted in Sting saying, "At first I was angry and perturbed, then I wanted some vengeance."
I don't think Disney liked how that sounded.
So they allowed 3 of the 6 songs to remain on the soundtrack.
In 1999, more movie elements were dropped, including some cast members. Sting stuck around the project, possibly to cause some mischief, who knows, maybe vengeance, and was involved in making songs for the beginning and the ending.
Fun fact, Sting didn't want to do the opening song because he thought that he was too old, and told Disney to get someone younger. The singer they chose was Tom Jones. Tom Jones is 11 years older than Sting. That's just weird.
In 2000, the film was officially named The Emperor's New Groove, and would be released in December of that year.
By now, the animation had changed quite a lot. Originally, there was a stupid amount of work put into everything, to the point where a supervising animator spent a whole trip to Peru just drawing rocks.
For the new version of the movie, Director Dindal wanted a simpler approach that emphasizes the characters rather than overwhelming special effects or cinematic techniques.
There were 400 artists involved in the film, and some of the stuff they did behind the scenes would take far too long to describe, but here are some videos to watch later.
During production, there was some suspicion that Emperor's New Groove would be rather similar to a DreamWorks movie movie named The Road to El Dorado. But Nintendo said those rumors were stupid, and you were stupid for believing them.
Disney would then decide to not promote the film very much at all because they wanted to focus on marketing 102 Dalmatians for Thanksgiving. Now, I don't mind 102 Dalmatians, but this would end up being a massive mistake, since that movie would end up being a box office disappointment, with mostly negative reviews from critics. Nice going, Disney, you screwed up!
As for Emperor's New Groove, that was also a box office disappointment, but I personally 100% blame Disney's lack of marketing. It did end up, however, doing pretty well in home entertainment.
Hey, you enjoying the video so far? Well, maybe you should go like the video then. I mean, if you wanna, I don't know, man.
This movie starts with a sad-looking llama in the rain, and a narration from said llama that this was not how things always used to be. Basically one of those cliche, I bet you're wondering how I got here openings.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up.
But it's funny, so I'll forgive it.
It turns out he's actually Emperor Kuzco, and he's totally not self-absorbed, self-centered, narcissistic, rather unlikable, immature beyond all belief.
Kuzco has a very catchy theme song, but don't you interrupt his groove now.
No! You threw off my groove!
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Based, kind of. I'm sure he'll be fine. Kuzco has no friends, but doesn't matter because he's the king of the world!
Whilst Kuzco was living it up as emperor, the royal advisor is a woman named Yzma. But this advisor is trying to run the kingdom behind Kuzco's back.
It is no concern of mine whether your family has... What was it again?
Food?
Ha! You really should have thought of that before you became peasants.
So, Kuzco fires Yzma, and by proxy, he fires her personal assistant, Kronk. He's a big dumb guy, but he has a heart of gold. Fool's gold.
Soon after that, we meet Pacha, the village leader. He's a great guy, with a family whose members are iconic in their own right. We'll see them later, don't you worry.
Pacha learns that Kuzco is going to up and destroy his village to make a water park, and is deeply unsettled by this turn of events.
I can't believe you've done this.
Kuzco gets invited to dinner with Yzma, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, it was a trap.
Yzma tells Kronk to get the poison for Kuzco. The poison chosen especially to kill Kuzco. Kuzco's poison.
That poison?
Yes, that poison.
But hark! It appears it was extract of llama.
So rather than killing the llama Kuzco, Yzma tells Kronk to dump the body. But Kronk has a moral crisis, and we meet the Shoulder Angel and Shoulder Devil.
Look what I can do.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
After some shenanigans, Kronk fumbles the bag with Kuzco in it, and the bag ends up with Pacha.
Mom, you and I both know that it's impossible for him to have grown in the last 5 minutes. Isn't it?
Look how much you've grown.
Haha, see, I told you.
After some shock and panic from both parties,
Demon llama!
Where?
Pacha offers to guide Kuzco back to the palace so that Yzma can change Kuzco back. Note, at this point they do not know that Yzma is murderous. He'll do this as long as Kuzco decides to not destroy his village, but the Emperor refuses. You know, that doesn't go too well, and eventually Kuzco accepts the offer.
Unfortunately, this old bridge is a bit rotted. And Pacha falls through, because he's fat.
Kuzco tries to betray Pacha and leave him there, but that decision does not work out well either.
But hey, he saves Pacha's life, so maybe he's starting to develop a soul! Pacha decides to help him anyway, with the hope that the Emperor will change his mind down the line, and not destroy his village.
Kuzco! Yzma hears the unfortunate news that Kuzco is still alive!
He's still alive?
So she and Kronk will have to go find him before he can return alive, because that would be pretty awkward.
The search does not go well, but lucky for them, Kronk is a junior chipmunk and thus is well versed in squirrel, and they find out from Bucky, the squirrel voiced by Bob Bergen, what direction they need to go.
Kuzco and Pacha stop by a diner, posing as newlyweds and discussing Kuzco as Pacha's wife. Dragging a cartoon? Never before has that happened!
Pacha eats a pill bug, which, actually is entirely period inaccurate. They should be eating corn, potatoes, guinea pigs, alpaca meat, or llama meat.
Yzma and Kronk stop at the same diner, and Pacha overhears their plans, though it seems that Kronk is more concerned with managing the kitchen, for which he has somehow ended up being the chef.
4 combos, extra bacon on the side, 2 chili cheese samplers, a basket of liver and onion rings, a catch of the day, and a steak cut in the shape of a trout. You got all that, honey?
3 liquors wearing pants, plate of hot air, basket of grandma's breakfast, and change the bull to a gill. Got it.
Pacha tries to warn Kuzco, but Kuzco doesn't believe him and accuses Pacha of being a traitor and goes to find Yzma, but overhears them talking about killing him and how nobody misses him. Man, they really need to start talking quieter.
Now Kuzco's all alone and dejected, where we saw him at the beginning.
I didn't do anything, and they ruined my life and took everything I had.
Hey, give it a rest up there, will ya?
Kuzco wanders through a field of alpacas and llamas and finds Hark! Pacha!
Hey, listen, Pacha. You know, what I said to you back at the diner, that I didn't really...
You tired of being a llama?
Yes!
Kuzco and Pacha stop by the family house.
Go to the palace, find the lab, and change him back.
Hi there.
But shortly thereafter, a grand chase occurs across the map to Yzma's secret lab.
Yzma's got that secret lab.
By the way, it's worth mentioning that Kuzco is rather clueless in most ways and rather selfish, but he's not dumb or blind, as seen by the fact that he's all too aware of the lab.
Hark again! Yzma and Kronk actually made it back first!
How did we, Kronk?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Kronk is ordered to take them out, but he has yet another moral quandary.
Where's the other guy? Yo! Toss me this knife and ask me to, take them out. And
It is cleared up, however, after Yzma dares to insult his spinach puffs. Oh.
should have seen that coming.
The guards are called, so the dynamic duo run while trying to escape and find the right vial that will turn Kuzco back into a human.
It's utter chaos! And Kuzco and Pacha take flight!
By the end of it, Kuzco is a llama again, and Yzma has somehow been turned into a cat. They have one vial left, but Pacha's about to fall to his demise.
In an act of selflessness, Kuzco rescues Pacha while Yzma grabs the vial.
I win.
Kuzco returned himself to his rightful position, but his experience has turned him into a better, nicer man. His new vacation spot is just on the mountain with his new friends. The end.
What a wonderful, hilarious, and heartwarming story. We left out a lot of details, so if you haven't seen it, watch it for yourself.
I would consider this to be one of the few 10 out of 10 Disney movies. It's got good pacing, and it's a movie that we would watch multiple times in a row and still enjoy.
The voice actors do an excellent job, and the humor is peak. The animation is really pleasing to the eye. The character designs are great, and the music is superb.
TLDR, good quality overall. I don't even know why Disney makes movies anymore if they can't top this.
It's a shame Disney didn't market this movie properly, so it only made a profit of $70 million. But the high DVD sales and VHS sales cemented it as a cult classic. Definitely one of our favorite films of all time.
Its moderate success did spawn some sequels. Well, one sequel that we've technically covered before and may do so for this channel later, and a series that is rather fondly remembered by many. We may check out the series sometime to refresh our memories soon, so maybe that'll be a video too! Thank you for watching the video, and please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to be notified of when we upload next, because you won't want to miss our next video, where we talk about Snow White. Specifically, the strange and mysterious Snow White anime that you've probably never heard of.
Wait just a minute. You drive me crazy with your medicinal herbs.
Well, mellow out, man. It is an energetic juice of bitter herbs. You want a sip?
So, that should be fun.
And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and maybe you'll like this video over here.
Or perhaps this video over here. And until we see you there, he's Mia.
And he is Keto.
And we hope that you have a blessed day. Bye!